Hi, welcome to Now TV. You are watching Now TV. So I'm going to continue on with segments of the Smallville movie while the going is good, and this is recording. So this is page 33, um, part of the time not mentioned. This segment is titled Jonathan Kent's Last Trip to Kent and Jesse's Grave, which is what I should have called the whole thing. Anyways, here we go. Jonathan Kent's last trip to Kent and Jesse's grave. At the airport, finally, Jonathan felt he could relax a little, for by being there he was aware he would make it onto a plane that very same day. He attempted to purchase his plane ticket while in the Uber ride he took to get there, but he's never been so good and up to speed on all that technology stuff if it didn't have anything to do with farming. So he was unsure if he did successfully achieve the said ticket purchase. Could not tell by the confirmation email that read more like a riddle and showed a black square with squiggles and dots and lines, making him think of it as some kind of modern day Rorschach ink block designed item of sorts. When did getting on a bus, train, and plane become so difficult? What was wrong with the old-fashioned traditional method of a person being given a paper ticket, whether you picked it up in person or if it was delivered to you? Technology is not 100% reliable, nothing is fail-proof, so why would they make it more awkward and unsure by coming up with some kind of design that allows a person to do everything from their phone, tablets, or computers? Walking through the great hall of the airport on the main floor, he was trying to find the right airline and booth. He thought his phone was telling him he needed to go to one place so he can check his bags and confirm his flight. 5 minutes of walking later and asking a few airline attendants and booths of the same airline, he finally managed to find the right booth for him. Of course, as he looked back at where he was from the time he started, it would just have to be that for his first time of getting on a plane to England for a great many years, he would find that he had to walk to the very end to the other side of the airport to find where he needed to be to catch the right flight and check his bags in the right place. He just shook his head and turned to the airline ticket lady, started to talk to her, pulling up his phone. Isn't that clandestine? It's your first time taking an airplane to England. You rush like mad to pack. You have all these bags and you're by yourself and you're a man. And you have to walk across the entire airport and go right to the other side to get to the right airline ticket lady and booth for you to catch your plane because of what's coming up. You'll find out why. So Jonathan says, "Excuse me, my dear, but I'm a little old and slightly outdated and a little behind on all this internet online stuff. Never mind what the capabilities of cell phones also happens to be. Anyway, I tried purchasing my ticket on the way here to the airport, and after they happily took my money and I confirmed the money was gone from my account, all I got in response was this funny looking black box like thing that looks like a modern day ink block sort of thing. But when I touch it with my finger on my new touch screen, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't say anywhere on the page in my email I opened it in what it's for or what it means. So I'm wondering now, where's my ticket? Do you have it in your system or are you able to print it out for me or something?" And he shows his phone and it's the scanner, new form of the scanner ID tickets. Anyways, here you go. The airline ticket attendant, without thinking about anything of her job and her day and age and showing any humor or consideration of Jonathan Kent's plight or disposition, mentally or emotionally, said with a straight tone and no smile on her face, "Sir, if you would please, now let me reply. That black square is your ticket. It's in computer code so that my scanner and computer system will be able to read it. Albeit it isn't very artistic or something pretty or interesting to look at, it does at the end of the day do the job it was made for. Now, if you just hold your phone still and let me scan it with my scanner, It will then give me my computer all the information I need, and you can move along with the next phase of checking your bags, finding your flight, and time of boarding. Jonathan thought her personality was a little drab. She was rather dry, and he wondered how she got into a people person job. But then looking at the black square on his screen saw the fleeting connection and the bond to the new age plane ticket on the go and the new age ticket attendance to match that era, and could see how the two fit so nicely together. Sorry, but John's gonna love it. So he just smiled, as polite as smile as he could, and held his phone out to her. The ticket agent lady then took her funny looking scanner item thing and waved it up and down over his phone while pushing a button with her finger on the handle she held. The contraption with and a red laser beam light scanned across his phone screen from side of the black block on his screen to the other side of the black blob on his screen. And somewhere in the middle of that, her machine beeped. Something went off. And she then smiled at Jonathan because now that his purchase was confirmed, he could be considered a person. He was guessing someone of importance or matter to her job, because now he had been confirmed as a paid customer. What was that? Jonathan says. That sound that beep your hand machine just did. Jonathan's thought it's been way too long since he's been on an airplane in an airport. And now standing there that day was wishing he had traveled more places with his family, as he's clearly given away to everyone around him here today that he hasn't done much traveling. Well, at least not recently in technology's current times. So he just looked at her, keeping his thoughts to himself, and waited for an answer to his question. The airline ticket attendant says, "Oh, that, sir, was your ticket confirming to my scanner that everything is all right, that you did indeed pay for your ticket and your purchase went through successfully, and it then gave my scanner all the information I needed so I can see who you are and where you're going and everything else that can make it possible for me to help you and do my job. Oh, there it is right now, coming up on my screen," she says. "Welcome to British Airlines, Mr. Kent. Your flight leaves in 90 minutes, and it says here you purchased a window seat in first class. And I see you have 2 bags to be checked, and one is carry-on. Now, if you could put the 2 bags to be checked one at a time on the scale right over here, sir, I can give you the appropriate baggage tickets as soon as the scale confirms you are within the free baggage limit amount." As it turned out, of course, being that he was a man, he of course didn't have to worry about going overweight with his bags, so he knew he wouldn't have to pay anything extra. Now, if Martha was traveling with him, he might have a different story. Anyway, the flight attendant gave him the right baggage tickets that she printed off for him from her computer. Now, Jonathan thought this was a neat thing, a baggage ticket that he didn't actually have to write his name on in pen and watch it get smudged and be unreasonable and unlegible by the time you get to your final destination. He liked knowing that today there was less chances of losing your luggage, but it sure still doesn't do anything about stealing. He didn't want to seem rich or snobby or something, so he just had to add a few last words after she said that first class information thing out loud. Jonathan said, "It was urgent that I got on a flight today. I had to get out of Kansas as quickly as possible, and no matter which airline going to the UK I looked at, there were no regular seats available, and then I finally found your airline had a first class ticket leaving tonight, so I took it. Just so you understand that." Now, how many times have airline attendants have had to hear people say that story to them? And they just don't, it doesn't matter if you can afford the ticket. They don't care how you've paid for it. The airline attendant looked at him again, expressionless, blinking her eyes. She absolutely didn't care one way or the other whether he was flying in coach or first class, and didn't need to be given an explanation on his purchase. All that mattered to her in her job was that he could afford it, and did it, and is now therefore a customer. She has to put through and get on his way to catching his flight so he arrives at his final destination on time. The flight attendant says, "By the way, Mr. Kent, please be aware that little black box on your cell phone in your email will be needed again, so don't lose that page or the link from your email. They will need to scan it again when they are informed that it's time to load the passengers." Jonathan, already walking in the direction the instructions given to him by her, still thinking the ticket booth attendant had the personality of a computer, so to acknowledge that he heard what she said, he just waved his right arm with his backhand all that she could see moving, and kept moving in the direction of where he could finally sit for a few minutes, catch his breath, and his thoughts of the whirlwind of a day that he's having. So, because of the way she dealt with what he's doing and what he's saying, which anybody who knows Jonathan Kent would absolutely know, this is just bang on. He just grabs his bags, walks away, and waves goodbye to the computer attendant. Once he was sitting down in the waiting area that was the right loading area for his flight to the UK, he pulled out his new touchscreen cell phone. Still can't believe these kinds of phone contraptions exist and actually work. Shook his head as he swiped the screen and punched in his code. Something he was very proud of himself for learning how to do. He did his own password. Ooh. And called Martha. He told her he would try and not be gone that long and that everything can be explained and worked out more when he got back. They wished each other good health and safety, of course, and love, and then ended their call. Once he looked up from his cell phone and had a moment to look around. All he could see were a bunch of flat screen TVs, which was something else he's had to get used to. And on every single screen, there was no actual TV show airing. One was playing information about the New York Stock Exchange, another one politics, stuff about Obama, of course, and another about the news. And of course, wouldn't you know, all of them had the sound off. Shook his head, wondering what the point of having them there was then. I mean, everyone can find the same information on their tablets, cell phones, and computers anyway. So he turned his attention to his carry-on bag and decided to peek through it to see what kind of goodies Martha packed in there for him. As soon as he saw her shortbread cookies, his mouth instantly watered, and he figured since she wasn't there to tell him what to do, since she wasn't there to lecture him about eating a real meal first before dessert, that this would be his chance, his one and only time to get away with eating dessert first. So he smiled and went in for the cookies, went after the shortbreads with his left hand. I ad-libbed there. I do that throughout this a little bit because it's just not as fun if I don't add stuff, right, to make it fun. So I think we'll end it there with him eating shortbread cookies. So we'll come back to another day, another place. I gotta mark that spot. This is long enough. So peace out, everyone. Thank you for watching Now TV. As I share and record segments of the Smallville movie, the reunion special, while my computer lets me when I can. I don't know how far I'm gonna go, how much I'll record. If I'm in a good mood, maybe I'll read the whole thing. We'll see. Till then, we'll just take it one day at a time. So peace out. Come back for more on what happens around his delicious wife's shortbread cookies. Bye for now from Now TV Canada. Thank you for watching. This is Superwoman signing out.